Have you made the switch yet to the new Microsoft Outlook? Well, this tutorial here today is going to be focused on the calendar section of that. I want to go through all the features to make sure that you're using your calendar effectively, and that will make everything very efficient for you to have everything scheduled and shared with whoever you need to. So let's get started on how to use the new Microsoft Outlook calendar. Hi, I'm Jamie, and welcome to Teachers Tech. It's great to have you here today. First of all, I want to make sure that you're in the new Microsoft Outlook. And if you take a look at the top right-hand corner, there's a toggle. I have mine toggled on. So if you're in the previous version, you can open that up and just toggle it over, and then it will do an update and it will switch you over to the new calendar. The other way you can do this on your Windows computer, if you go to the Microsoft Store, open that up and just do a search for Outlook, you can download it from the store. Here it is right here. So I want to make sure you're on the right version. This looks very similar to the web version that we had before, that Microsoft had. So we're focused on the calendar today. I just want to point out, if we look over on the left, we have our navigation to our different apps like the mail. If I go over to the mail, I have a completely different video, a beginner's class, how to use the new Outlook mail. So I'll put a link to that below in the description and up above in a card, so you can go check that out if you have questions about how to use email with the new Outlook. But we're focused on the calendar here today. So let's get started on the basics, just with a walk around of what you're seeing. Now I want to do a walk around of what you're seeing and how to make some adjustments to customize it the way you would like. Now let's start at the top here. I'm not going to go into the new event quite yet, but I just want to point out the views. Do you want to look? You can see right now it's on the month view. Do you want a day view? Just go ahead and click this, work week or versus the week. Right now I'm also on split view. I have two different accounts. Here's one of my demo accounts and this is one as well. I have split view turned on, so it will show me both of them at the same time. So if I just turn that off, then it's only going to show me the one calendar here. But you can choose which one down here. And as I go through, I just want to point out this is the new condensed ribbon through here. So if you're used to kind of more of an expanded, go over here, toggle this and go to the classic ribbon, and then you get this display. So you choose what you want to have there. If we look across the top, we have our view, but you're going to see a lot of the same things that you see in the previous one too. So if I go to home, we have our split view month week. If I go to view, you're seeing the same things. There is the calendar settings under the view. We also have it up top here. So if I go ahead and just click on this, it will open up to the calendar settings. This goes directly to the calendar settings. This one up top will bring you to kind of the general settings, but you can still navigate to here. I'm not going to go through the different settings at the moment, but I do want to point out under general, you can change the appearance. So you got language and time and appearance. We could go to a dark view if you wanted that, or even choose a theme. And you have to hit save to make sure it stays, because as soon as I go out of it, it will ask me if I want to save. So I'm going to hit discard. And when you make those changes, that's for even your email and everything. It's just not calendar. It's all the new Microsoft Outlook. So I just want to point out where those are. Now, I do have my two accounts on here. On the left-hand side, I have this account and then this account that I've added to here with my different calendars. And I'm going to show you how to add more calendars. So maybe you have a favorite sports team and you want to follow when all their games are. I'll show you how to add something. There's lots of different calendars you can add to this. A couple last things. If you don't want to see this here, just go ahead, hide the navigation pane here. I can click it on or off. And on the right-hand side, if I'm just going to go back to my month view here, notice that we have this on the right-hand side. This just shows me the events of the day. I can toggle this or turn this off or on just by selecting. So depending on what you want to see there. Now, to see, to go through the different months, you can just go use the arrows. You can go previous, you can go ahead. So as I go through, if I wanted to see maybe what a certain date lies, I could go ahead and find it. If you want to go way in the future, just go in here and click the date. And maybe I want to see in 2034 in a certain month, what day something is. I can go and do that. But if you ever need to go back to today, just click today and it just goes back to where you are in the week. So just a little bit about navigation, the dates. We can do this on the right-hand side here, or sorry, the left-hand side as well. If we wanted to go through the months, just like that, we can do that. And we can hide this calendar. So if you don't want to see this calendar, we can just open it up here. So that's just a little walk around. We can select our date from here and notice it comes over here on the calendar. So let's go to our next step and get into creating some things. So the first thing I just want to show you how to adjust is your weather, because you don't want the wrong weather showing up here as you're looking and planning your day, if that's going to change your travel plans or not. But if I go ahead and just hover, it kind of shows the weather. But if I click on it, we can edit our location. So if I hit edit location, this will come up. How do you want it? Fahrenheit, Celsius, and you can just go and add. You can see where it defaulted to here, but I can add another location by search. So if I was going to type in, let's say Los Angeles, I could go and also use my location if I wanted, or hit add. And then if I didn't want the other one, I could go and delete it and then hit save. So you're going to see if I exit out of here, this heavy rain that was there on the other one is gone. So I just want to make sure I point out to adjust your weather setting. If I open the pane over here, expand the agenda pane here, you also will see the weather up top there as well. Now, the other thing I just want to show you is what you're seeing for calendars on the left-hand side here. Notice, as I pointed out, I have two different accounts. If I just open or close this, you can see how it expanded. But if I go to my calendars here, I can, you're not seeing any events because I don't have any calendars selected. So if I wanted to see if I have any events, if I click calendar, oh, notice I have something right here on it. So I just didn't have that calendar selected. I also have this one here, United States holidays. So if I wanted to turn this one on, now I'm seeing two different ones. I can still change my views of different ones, and you're going to see what comes up from it, depending on what you have shown on it. But if I go back to the month, so I can also turn on calendars from other accounts. So if I go to this one and click it, now I have this showing up here that the event was created on that one. So if you're not seeing something, make sure you have your correct calendars selected. So if I just turn them off, you can see how ones will disappear. And right now I just have the holidays on. The other thing I want to point out, how do you add, maybe you have a favorite sports team or other things. I'm going to show you, if we go ahead and add a calendar here. Now, what do we want to add? You can see there's sports, birthdays, holidays, subscribe from the web. In this example, I'm going to go and add a sports one. I can create a blank one as well if I was going to, if I wanted to just for one called home. And then I could put all my home events on it and share that calendar with other people in my family, and we could kind of organize from there. But I'm going to pick a sports team here, and we have all these different sports. I'm going to go to the NFL since it's a Sunday here, and we have who's playing. Casey and Miami's in Germany right now, but maybe I want to follow the Miami Dolphins. So if I go ahead and select that, you can see I can also select all. So I have that turned on now, and I'm just going to close out of this. And I can see Miami Dolphins. I can see that they're playing where they're playing. So they're going to be playing the 19th and the 24th here as well, who they're playing against. If I click on the event and opens up, it gives me more information about this and where I can check this out. So that's how you can be adding kind of some fun calendars to this, or even another blank calendar. Let's go to the next step now. So let's talk about organizing your calendar. So right now I just have the Miami Dolphins on here. I can move this up or down too. So if I move over here where my mouse is and just click and hold, I can drag it into different locations. If I go over here, I have more options. So hover, you get those three little dots, and look what I can do. I could say show this, but this is the only one showing only right now because it's the only one I have selected. I could rename this. So if I don't want this called Miami Dolphins, I could call this whatever I want. I could remove it. So any calendars you don't want, you could just simply hit remove, and it's going to be gone from there. So notice that this one's at the bottom. If I don't want it there, and at the top, my calendar goes to the top. Some other things you might want to do to help organize, you might want to change the colors. So if I was going to say turn this to green, you can see how now everything in here is green on it. So if I go back, color, yeah, I'll do that one more time, and then this changes. So you can identify the calendar by what color the events are coming up here too. We can have some charms. So if I was going to put the star on here, notice that the star shows here as well. So just by clicking on these, you have some different options. We can move down or move to. I was showing you the drag where we can drag to, but we can move to other folders as well through here. So some quick organization here with the calendars. Let's talk about sharing calendars. I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new calendar here. So I'm going to go to add calendar, and this time I'm just going to create a blank one, and we're going to call this home. So this calendar, let's say it's about sharing with the family so that we just can keep organized. I can go and pick a color. So I'm going to pick this color. I'm going to pick the home symbol. So when I see it, it's easy to recognize what calendar do I want to put it under. I'll just leave it under this one for the example. I'm going to hit save. And now home is created. If I close out of here, I have home right here. So if I wanted to share this, let's say with my wife or kids, what I can do is I can click here, I can go sharing permissions. And if I go and click on this one, all I have to do is enter who do I want to share this with. So if I was going to add a person here, how do I want them to see this? Can view all details. So that means if I go and enter something in, when they go to their Outlook, they'll be able to see this as a calendar on their side that they can view. If I go down, can view when I'm busy, can view titles and locations, can edit. I'm going to say the can edit because I want the other person to be able to adding events in this. That's my example, but maybe you don't want it. You just want them to see your calendar. So you got to think about how you want to have those permissions. Just go ahead and click share. And this shows me that it's inside my organization for this example, and she can edit. But at any time, you can see I have these options that I can go and change. If I just wanted to go to view the details, now that's the new one. So I can still change the permissions after that. So now this calendar, if she accepts it, will be listed here for her in her Outlook, and then she and I can work together and keep everything organized. Okay, let's get to the main thing here is really about using the new Outlook here to help keep everything organized. First of all, I just want to point out that we have this right here. So this shows that I'm in the office. This shows that I would be in home or remote. I can change these at any time. So if I wanted to change that to office, I can. If I go up where I haven't selected anything, I can click on this and choose. But I could also set a schedule. So this will show work location on my calendar. And then if I'm having that calendar shared, people would be able to see where I'm working from. So that's a handy feature. But I could also set my schedule through here and where I'm working from, where I can add my location, add my time. So you can customize that the way you'd want. Now I'm going to create two different events. So let's say the first event is going to be just a simple one for myself to remind. Then the other one is going to be just for a shared one where I need to invite other people to the event and they're going to get sent messages. So the first thing is, let's say if I just go and click once on a date, it pops up with this quick one here that I can quickly fill out. I can do a few different things here. So I could go to new event and it gives me this more expanded one here to put some more information, or I can just double click on a date also and it gets to this as well. So if I'm just giving a simple event that I need for myself, I need to choose the calendar. So if this is just on my personal calendar, maybe I'm going to say, remind myself to publish video on that day. I'm not inviting anybody to this. I'll do another one in a moment about that. What's the time that I want? So I could go through and choose a time through here. You can see they make it pretty easy. I can also go on the side here. I can drag this around and notice the times are changing. I can expand this too. So if now I can still drag it around and now it's going to be longer. So I can just simply do that. And then as you get things more filled up, you'll in your schedule, you're going to see different things so that pop up that you'll be in conflict if you try to overlap them. Or is this an all day? So if I click all day, it just puts it at the top of the day. So if it's not in a time, they'll just place all day events right at the top. And then if I go through, does it repeat? So is this something I'm doing every week? Maybe on this day, I can go say weekly, in this case, on how repeat 1 week occurs every Thursday until when. So then I could select my date from wherever. So if I was just going to say to the 30th and repeat once a week, and we'll hit save. And then we can go through, add a description that we want. With any of this, I can type up any information. I'll just say video, and I can go and do any formatting here. Is there an attachment that I need to add? I could browse from the computer or my OneDrive, upload and share. So I have, maybe it's a PDF or a picture that I needed to add. So I can add all these things to help me remember. The other thing I just want to point out before I hit save on this one, do I want to be reminded? So right now it says day before. So if I was going to say day before, maybe I want it to be day before at 9 a.m. or at the time of the event. I can make these adjustments, and I can say add an email reminder here. So this was where I can add an email reminder to this that I get notified that way as well. If you get everything the way you want, you could hit save. And I should have the event created here. And here it is, publish video. And notice it's repeating. And that's what this symbol is right here. It's a repeating event to this day. So if I go, I could make some edits to this. So if I grab and I stretched it out there, now it'd be on the 2 days here. I could click on it, double click, and I get back to options where I could make some changes to this one. And if I just clicked on it once, so I'll click off of it, I'll click on this one again, and I can make some edits here, but I could also delete this. So is it just this event, this and following events, all the events? So maybe it's just this event and I hit delete and just this one is out of the series here. So that's a very quick way to add an event for yourself. But let's say I have another event that I need to invite people to, and it's going to be on these dates right here. So if I go, I tend to just double click. So if I double click and it opens up this one, this is going to be, let's say, a basketball tournament. But before I even do that, I need to make sure I get the right calendar. So if I go and choose, oh, this is going to be a home calendar here, and it's going to be a basketball tournament. So I'm just going to say basketball, and I need to invite people. I just can click in here, and I need to say, well, you know what, my kids need to be in, maybe my wife, and I could add more people, and this will be added to their calendar. I'm just going to stretch this out here so we can see a little better what's happening. Now, as I go down, you can see we have some optional here, invite optional attendees as well. I'm not going to do that for here. Now, with the assistant, they can find times to help schedule things. So right now, I know there's nothing in anybody else's calendar on those dates. So it's telling me available everyone, and I can choose one of these, and it will change it. And I can change the time on this like I showed you before, and select different times, and it will update at this point here. But if I know this is an all day, I could just select all day, and then have that option, because if it's a basketball tournament, maybe it's best to leave it at there. But I can make those changes as well. So maybe I need to add a location, and I can just, I'm going to be a little bit of random here. Maybe this is at a hotel that we'll be going to and staying, and then I can add that to it. Again, description, any information, maybe there's the schedule of your games that you could add to this. So if you're sharing this with other people, then they have that as well. Notice here, what this is send instead of save. If I drop down, you can see I can save this as a draft as well, so it won't send. The reason is because since other people are invited, when I hit send, they're going to get this message in their email. The event is created and it's going to be shared with them, but it's gets sent to them. So it's a little different if it's just one to myself, it's just saved. But when it's to other people, it's sent. So here we have it right here. I can still make edits to this. I can see where we're staying in the day. I can hit edit or cancel on it. So it's a little different than discard. I could change. So if I go ahead and stretch this out, we're going to be overnight, and then hit edit, it's going to need to resend this again. So the time's adjusted, I hit send, and then they get notified as well. So if I double click, it opens back up. Is there anything that I want else from them? So you can see I can have the tracking, I can have the response request here, and the reminder, all these things that I can set through here. So those are a couple different ways that you can create your events, whether it's individually just for yourself or need to share it to other people and then send it out. I just want to end this video here today, this beginner's class, with one last look at the settings. So under view, and if we have settings right here, we can also go to the gear up top. If I go ahead and choose this, it's the calendar one I just want to talk about. And if I select calendar, if we take a look at this, so if I go events and invitations, you can see we have this information here, but what I kind of want to show is events from email. So Outlook can automatically add events like airline flights and other reservations from your email to your calendar. So if you get a flight, then they will recognize that, and that will get added to it. So you can set this up, all these different options from package deliveries, flight reservations, hotel reservations. So when you get these emails, they will be on your calendar. So you can choose how you want those to be seen. Now, the other thing is, I just want to point out shared calendars. We can share calendars from here as well, and I've talked about it in the other ways. And then we have customize actions where you can add different things to this. So I'm not going to go and turn any of these ones on. The last thing I just want to show you is the bookings with me. And this is where, so this is a personal scheduling of page where people inside and outside your organization can see your availability. Do you want people to be able to see that so when they schedule ones, they know exactly when you're available? So make sure you remember about those settings and how to kind of just personalize it to what you need. So I hope you like this beginner's class on how to use the new Microsoft Outlook calendar. I like the look of this. This, has that feel of that online. It's more simplistic, but has all the great options as well. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know what else you'd like to learn about. Thanks for watching this time on Teachers Tech. I'll see you next time with more tech tips and tutorials.